Welcome to the rundown, y'all. Man, we just kind of ready to get it going. And shout out to these Memphis Tigers. You know, I wanted to give a shout out to the Tigers. We lost. We're not in the tournament again. 7 years in a row now. You know, but we played good toward the end of the season.
I called it.
You called what?
I said that.
What'd you say?
I said just because we got Penny coaching does not mean we're going to be NCAA tournament. Now, I will say I think it's good for the city. I think ticket revenue streams increased and everything like that. You know, like all of that is good.
Yeah.
But,
business-wise is booming. But I just want to give a quick shout out to that. We got to hit our free throws, though. Maybe me and Rad can go kind of help with some free. Like, dog, 25 for 47 the last two games. You know what I'm saying? We lost by a total of 5 points. So
I couldn't do nothing else. I could shoot free throws.
Yeah,
I could play defense and shoot free throws.
Yeah, that's simple. But shout out to Penny and the Tigers. You know what I'm saying? I'm rooting for them. Hopefully we do good in NIT and do better
never
next
turn
year.
on you, Penny.
Yeah, I ain't turning on you, but I'll keep it 100.
No, hey, Penny, you doing great. I love you.
I'll keep it 100. Okay, let's go ahead and get into it, man. You know, it's been a couple of days. I know me and you text back and forth. Instagram posts. I sent you, the thing where, the son was talking about this whole Kirk Franklin situation. For one, I want to say that I always have an issue with anybody that tries to portray someone else in a negative light on social media without giving the full gamut of the full presentation. You know what I'm saying? That's just, what we would call a hoe type move, coward, whoever does it. You know what I'm saying? Especially this with the son. I have issues with, that's just a lot of stuff going on, dishonoring, you know what I'm saying, the parent and doing all that. It's just disingenuous. And the person, his son, I don't think he knows or maybe even cares that he looks twice as bad as he was trying to let his dad look. You know what I'm saying? And so, it was a straight, coward move on, his son's part to even put that stuff out there. Now, on the other hand, though, I will say that for the times that this came out in, like for somebody to go unscathed, like I didn't know about this. Like wifey put me on game with this. When she sent it to me, that's kind of when I sent it to you because I didn't even know what was going on. She said, "You heard about the Kirk Franklin thing?" I was like, "No." And then she let me hear it on whatever thing I sent you on. Maybe it's Baller Alert. And I was like, at first I was thinking,
it was on Baller Alert.
Yeah, and I was like, I'm thinking that's the son talking to Kirk. When I first heard it, because I was like, she was like, "You heard the son talking to Kurt?" I was like, "No." So when I heard it, I was like, "Dang, they're giving it to Kurt," And then I heard, "No, that was Kurt." And so I was like, "Wow!" But I was like, "He gonna be fine. Like it's not gonna be, he not gonna get canceled or anything like that, just because of the times that we live in." You know what I'm saying? I'm like, he gonna come out. This is exactly what I said. He gonna come out with an apology here soon. You know what I'm saying? Have it on the social media and basically be done with it. You know what I'm saying? It was, he's going to get unscathed. But if this happened, 10, 12 years ago, I want to let you speak, but I have another example to where if this happened, not in this particular culture that we in, this will probably be a whole different, situation. You know what I mean?
So if you are sensitive to language and everything like that, go ahead and mute.
Move your mic up a little bit.
You might you can go ahead and mute or skip ahead. And let me start off by saying, like, I'm not. It's a lot that in the last 10, 12 years that Kirk said that I just wholeheartedly disagree with. Like, I am not a Kirk Franklin fan. Yeah. Not to say that he doesn't make, good music or anything like that, but just some of the stuff that it said I 110% disagree with. You know what I'm saying? Because again, like, me, like, if we're going to talk on a certain level, like let's deal strictly on that, and you know I can go there and I will,
right?
And I don't have no problem with it.
Yeah.
But with that being said, I think his son made like a whole bitch move.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And this is why I say that. Number one, well, no, that I put this one at the end. Number one, he didn't play his whole like message, the whole conversation.
Right.
Like you said. So we don't have any context as to what provoked. It's not like he said, "Hey, Dad, how you doing?" And then Kirk just spat out, "Oh, you motherfucker!" Like that. Like, but if you listen, he's constantly saying, "You can't keep disrespecting me. Right. If you disrespect me like that again, you know, you came at me disrespectfully."
Right.
And then all he says is, "How I disrespect you." You know what I'm saying? But he's already, whatever he said, he's already said it. And so now you get somebody going on this rant. And we've talked about this before. It's like we're supposed to judge him based off of his reaction to what the action was. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So it'd be just like if I walked in and you beating somebody down. And, "Oh, JB, what's wrong? Why are you doing that?" And I'm on you. And I don't know that this person put their hands on your wife or hurt one of your kids. Right. I just see you reacting and now I'm on you. You know what I'm saying? So you want me to look bad at him and I don't have the full context. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? You just having a good old time. So it's almost like it was a setup. It's almost like you goaded him into something, like you egged him on to get him to go off.
Yeah. You can even tell that when he was on the thing. He was like, "What'd I do? Right. What'd I say?"
Yeah.
You know what?
Because now he's already going. So he's not finna sit up there and go back and forth with you because you already got him, you know, upset. The second thing is that, you know, you know this, like with parents, uncles, grandparents, or whatever, when you have a relationship with family, like me and you will talk in a way that we may not put on the podcast. You know what I'm saying? But it would be very disingenuous of me to, like, when we're having an off-camera conversation or we having a, hey, you know, between me and you conversation, but I'm secretly recording what you're saying. And if you play sports, you know, you have what's called locker room conversation. And what this said is almost like what's said, like this is a safe space. You can speak freely. What's said here doesn't leave here. I had times like that growing up with my dad where I could sit and talk with him. And what we talked about in that space stayed in that space. If I said, "Dad," and I wouldn't, you know, cuss at him, and it was like, "I think this is crap." You know what I'm saying? Like I could say that in that particular time and space. Yeah. And it didn't leave there. It didn't go back to my mom or my grandma or none of my other family members. It stayed in between that. So, you know, in the parent-child relationship, it's stuff that you would say to your children or stuff that you may say to your sister or your brothers that you're not just gonna broadcast that into the world. And I think we live in an age and a society now where it's like we're trying to tell people not only how to act. You have professional or formal, but it's like we're trying to dictate how people live when they're being informal. You know what I'm saying? Like when you with your homeboys, it's like, "Oh, you can't talk this way with your homeboys either. You can't talk this way between you and your wife either, between you and your family either. You got to talk and act this way. We're going to dictate how you act, talk, move, and think." So I think that's just a load of BS. The third thing is the quickest fight in my life. And you know me, like, you know, I don't ask no questions. Somebody got a problem, you know, I'm ready to get down. Anybody who watched me know. And I'm not going to lie and say I won every fight I was in. But number one, I ain't never had nobody who wanted to fight me twice. Yeah. And number two, I can count on one hand the number of L's I took. Right. And keep in mind, I got kicked out of 6th, 7th, and 8th grade, and it was predominantly for getting suspended for fighting. Yeah. And I can count on one hand the number of L's I took. And again, I ain't whoop everybody, but niggas know, like, when it's time to go down, like, I ain't gonna hold out about nothing. If we gotta throw down, I'm gonna throw down. Right. It is what it is. Win, lose, or draw. If I gotta throw down, I'm gonna throw down. The quickest fight of my life was when I disrespected my dad. It was 2 hits. And I blacked out. Like legit blacked out. Like when I was in the kitchen, when I came to, I was in the living room. In a chair, like in an armchair by the door. Like, I don't know how I got there. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just know I was in a chair, and I don't know what made me think that I could disrespect my dad the way that I did. And at the time, he had me by about 5 inches in height. Now it's about like 2.5, 3 inches in height, but maybe about 100 pounds on me at the time. You know what I'm saying? But but that never happened again. I learned respect what happens when you cross the line of disrespect. Yeah. So we don't have a video of Kirk beating the brakes off his son. It's just a conversation, which leads me to my last point. His son, I could understand if he was a child. If he was EJ or Toby age, I could understand. I could understand if he was Charity age. Right. If he was a teenager. Man, you a full grown ass 32-year-old man.
Yeah, I say he's 33, right? I think he's 33. Yeah, he's 33.
You know what I'm saying? Like you a full grown ass. You could go serve in the military if you committed a crime. You going to 23-hour lockdown, ass pounding jail. Right. You can rent a car without any cosigner. You know what I'm saying? Like, the only thing he ain't got is an AARP card. Yeah. Like any mistake he make at this point in life, you old enough to know better. Yeah. Whether that be financial, whether that be committing a stupid crime, whatever. At 32, 33, you're old enough to know better. Life expects you to know better. So we're not talking about a teenager. We're not even talking about a kid. Yeah, we're talking about a grown ass man. Grown. Yeah, you grown. And you talking about you want sympathy? No. I don't care what this culture says. No. Yeah. If you're grown enough to where if you don't want to have a relationship with him, nobody's putting a gun in your head and making you deal with your parents at 30 years old.
Is that what he said? He wanted sympathy or?
No, I mean, why post it? Yeah, right. What's the point of posting it? Yeah. Because you want people to feel sorry for you and to feel bad for you. And look at what I had to deal with growing up and everything. We don't know that this is what you had to deal with growing up. Right. Because this could be you're grown and I'm sick of your shit. Right. And I got to talk to you like you grown now because I've been trying to baby you. We don't know the whole story. Right. But now you put us in your life when you make it available to the public. So now I got to make an assessment based off what I'm seeing or what I'm thinking or what I understand. And just all of it. What's the point? Why? But like before, I didn't even care about y'all family life. And now I think, as far as Kirk, I mean, from a ministry standpoint, but even with that, that's not like he did that in front of a congregation or out in the mall somewhere. That was supposed to be, or what was thought to be, a private phone conversation between a father and a son. Right. That the son pulled, like you said, a legit hoe move. Yeah. Now, I commented, our boy, Mo Kicks and Bruce Lee, shout out Mo Kicks. He made y'all check him out on YouTube if you can. If you're a sneakerhead, Mo Kicks and Bruce Lee on YouTube. Follow him. But he made a post on Facebook and I commented on it, but and I put it in all caps and he made a whole bitch move. And when I say that, I don't mean that as a female move. When in the street or playing ball or tennis, whatever you playing, when you say that, you basically is calling somebody a coward, calling them weak. It ain't got nothing to do with being a female or a female dog. Like it ain't. That's used colloquially as a term of disrespect to say that was really weak. Right. And anybody who comes from that life understands when you're called that, like that's like the lowest thing you can call somebody because you're basically calling them a coward or saying they weak. Right. And that's why I was like, anything that somebody puts out there, whoever that is, it don't have to be this type of relationship. It can be, boyfriend or girlfriend, whatever. Anybody that tries to put some negativity about somebody else out there on social media without giving the full context of it. Or letting the person know, like, hey, I'm recording you right now. Right. Or something. So now if I do that, now that's on me. Yeah. But if you, like you said, if I don't know, and I think it's just me and you talking. Right. You know what I'm saying? Well, now, and that's why, like, we say this all the time. That which we say here because we're putting it out. I will double down on anything I said on here. Yeah. I believe JB would do the same. If we're wrong, we both have gotten on here and said, you know what I concede about Tom Brady being the GOAT, or, when I had to concede about Dallas, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm big enough to own and say where I'm wrong or I made a mistake or I misjudged or I misthought something. It's times you've gotten on here and done the same, but we still will stand by what we said, even saying this is what I was thinking when I said what I said. Mm-hmm. But we know we're being recorded and presented. When we go live, we understand that.
Yeah. Yeah, it's another devil advocate, another side to this, like what I alluded to earlier, like with Kurt. This is the perfect time. And Kurt, like for me in my timeline, I never really saw any backlash. For me, I'm seeing pretty much everybody kind of.
I saw some, but they was just like, "Oh, my parents would never do that to me." But again, you don't know what he did or said to provoke
you don't know
conversation.
You don't know the whole context.
So if you did that to your parents, you may get that same reaction.
Right. And so from my timeline, I've seen nothing but a lot of encouragement and support and stuff going that way. Like it's the perfect time just because of the times that we live in. You know what I'm saying? Like if this happened in 2008 or 2009, I don't think Kurt will be getting off pretty easy. Plus, he's the perfect guy for this because his message, even in his ministry, is pretty much,
redemption, forgiveness.
I'm just like you. Yeah. It's no difference between me and you. You know what I'm saying? This is, you hurt, I hurt. It's the same thing. And so he's the perfect person in the perfect time for this to really come out. Cause I was telling the wifey, I was like he gonna be good. Like this is no backlash for him. He gonna come out with apology and, people this may actually help bring more people to him just because they like, dang, Kurt, and I also do want to Kurt sound like Pinky out Friday on that tape, dog.
Nigga,
you motherfucker, you nigga, what you doing?
Say another motherfucker. Kirk with it.
He sounded like Pinky on that. That's why I was laughing.
Say something else.
And did you hear him? He called him poor.
Yeah, he did.
he called his son, you poor nigga. What's up? I was like, dang, Kurt, you called yourself poor. But getting back to the point I wanted to make, like. He's this perfect person and just with anybody, like I can go back to even what's the pastor name? John Gray. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? He's had a lot of extramarital affairs publicly. You know what I'm saying? And he's still preaching at his church. Like twice, like 2 times. Like, you know what I'm saying? But the times that we're in, like, it's perfect for it. It's like, oh, we're gonna love him. He's okay. It's no real accountability. So I'm just like, and you'll know what I'm saying with this. Like in 2008, we grew up. Well, I didn't grow up on Christian hip hop or rap, but y'all helped me get on it because these people over here were the GOATs in the industry at the time before people like The Truth and Lecrae got kind of big. But The Truth was real big. Honestly, if you ask around 2007, 2008, you'd be like, if you ask the question of who did you think would be big in CHH, you would probably say The Truth. You know what I'm saying? Probably before Lecrae.
Yeah, no, because 03, 04, 05, like he was on a big up climb.
He was on Kurt's tour, actually.
Yeah,
he was on. I remember The Truth was on Kurt's
when
tour
they came here back in 02 and like Corey Red and Precise, Cross Movement, Flame, like all them came and he was like an opening act. You know what I'm saying? Yep. And he had less stage time than me. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But like I remember like listening to, he had like a demo CD and I was like, man. And like a lot of people wasn't, because it's more East Coast. But I was like, man, dude, spitting, man. Like, hey.
They were comparing him.
I've always been in the lyricist, you know what I'm saying? I was like, hey, that nigga spitting.
A lot of people, even in the secular industry, was calling him the Christian Jay-Z. Just because how he was, at least I heard a couple people make that reference. But anyway, my point is that if you follow that type of stuff,
I would say the thing with him though is that when his situation happened, he actually sat down for like, I know it was like almost a year, if not a year.
That's my point. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm getting to.
Like, and so when you said the thing about like homeboy still
like I think he maybe sat down for like a month, Pastor John Gray, maybe a month or two, but
because and this is all I'm saying. I'm not saying like I don't put preachers up on a pedestal or anything like that, but this is first of all, the scripture talks about
it's order though.
you, first of all, proving you have victory in certain areas in life before you even get in that position. Mm-hmm. So for me, just understanding it, and I don't question anybody who I'm 18, 19, 20, 21, like, and they put you up. But my thing is, and again, we're not talking about sharing a message, proclaiming, sharing your testimony, right? Giving some encouragement, sharing an exposition you have. We're talking about leading, right? At 18, how long have I been paying my own rent? How long have I been running my house? How long have I been raising my kids? How long have I been married? Like, how long have I been success? You see what I'm saying? Right. Like, it's certain criteria you're supposed to meet, because scripture says you don't put a novice. Right. And a novice doesn't necessarily have to do with age per se. It's because I can be 35 and be a novice. Right. It's the experience in life. Mm-hmm. Have you been victorious walking this walk in your life to where nobody has a stone to throw at you? Doesn't mean you don't think you don't have to cast down wicked imaginations, as the scripture says. Doesn't mean you don't have to daily crucify your flesh, as the scripture says. But nobody shouldn't be able to say last week they saw me. I'm somebody pastor, and last week, you know, I'm doing the same thing everybody else. Like, you're supposed to be set apart. Right. All I'm saying is, if you're a police officer and you get caught selling dope, you'll never be a police officer again. Right. Let alone sitting down for 6 months again. Right. If you're a firefighter who starts fires, you'll never be a fireman again. Yeah. If you're a doctor who, and you know, because you know your pops was in the hospitals a lot of stuff, but if somebody was injecting him with some poison, yeah, they'll never practice medicine again. And so now, the good thing is that Christ is not that rigid, but certainly if I'm married and I'm somebody pastor and I'm creeping around 30 days, right? It take longer than that for you to get insurance on the job. Right. It take longer than that for you to get your benefits on the job.
And I use that as an example because, like I said, the times that we're living in key, just with this Kirk Franklin situation, because the truth, once he got caught with Tasha Brett's wife. You know what I'm saying? That whole situation, people don't know. He got in an affair with Tasha Brett's wife. And so at the time, the truth is on cross movement. You know what I'm saying? And so when that happened, when that got known, at least when it got exposed, you know, the label dropped him. He lost a lot of stuff business wise, sponsors, which is, you know, that's normal, so to speak. You know what I'm saying? But during that time, like, I remember it was hard because it was like, dang, they doing all this, but it actually helped them out. A lot of
the stuff behind it, like it wasn't like it was a one-time thing.
Yeah, it happened a lot.
Like it was something that was ongoing.
It was brewing over some years.
The other thing that he was supposed to be doing counseling. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So essentially, like, this is your guy.
Yeah, he was going to counseling with Tasha Brett and his wife.
No, he was doing the counseling.
Yeah. Okay, he was doing the counseling. Yeah, he was doing the counseling.
And so again, I'm not sure. Like, it is what it is. Yeah. You know, hey, past is past. God forgive you. Yeah. And no reason why I should hold a grudge against you. Yeah. But I'm just saying. But the optics of this supposed to be your guy. Yeah. You know, like, this ain't some random stranger that you don't have no connection. Like, y'all on tour together, y'all eating dinner, like y'all families eating together and everything like that. Right. So it was almost like similar to what David did in the scripture. Right. You know what I'm saying? Like, this your one of your number one soldiers, one of your mighty men. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? And you get his wife, and like, so that's why it was bad like that. But like I said, I just don't.
It was foul, and to my point, like, and it should have been like it was something that needed to be dealt with, and during those times, 2008, 2009, whenever that happened. You know what I'm saying? The times, it wasn't the Me Too movement. We wasn't in a ultra, a Christianity world to where kind of almost anything goes, you know what I'm saying, type of thing. Like, but with today, my thing is, on the other side of it, I'm just like, the people that's like, oh, nothing, Kurt didn't, just put mercy and grace on Kirk. Like, my thing is be consistent. You know what I'm saying? Have that same energy, you know what I'm saying, for somebody else. Like when Donald Trump was president, not all, but some people, when they said how bad of a person he was, they always flipped back to when 2005 when he was in the bus and he said, you can grab him by the pussy. Like, people even
stuck on the phrase and not the whole context of the entire conversation.
And let me tell the context of it so people that actually don't know. Period. This is just like me and him having locker room talk. Let's say the camera's not on. We're talking about our experiences. We're billionaires. We're rich. You know what I'm saying? He's basically saying, I can do this because I'm rich and I'm a celebrity. They'll let you do anything. They'll let you grab them by the pussy.
Because of who I am.
Right. It's a true statement.
And so he's not saying I walk up to random people and assault them. He's almost saying is like, because of who I am and what I could do for somebody or what they think they can get from me,
I can do
anything.
Right.
They'll let me just do anything because of my status and my money and my celebrity.
Correct.
They will let me do anything. And again, y'all know Trump ain't my guy, but again, right is right, wrong is wrong.
I'm just looking for
what he said is right, but I believe in context.
Consistency across the board.
Context is everything. And in this Kirk situation, I'm just saying we don't have the whole story, and it's wrong to make a certain assessment when we don't have the full picture.
Yeah. Like I said, we can talk about this for a minute because I got some more points I need to make because Kirk, with certain people, when you hear him, like Kirk wasn't new to that. He true to that. You know what I'm saying? Kirk, that ain't his first or his seventh time cussing out his son.
Now you can tell when somebody cussing, you can tell if they
Kirk was true to that. He's well versed in that. And like I said, that's no problem. I'm not saying that I judge him for that. What I'm saying is there's another side to it because you can't be like, okay, everything is okay. Like, okay, he need to take a certain type of accountability himself as far as how he's, dealing with that situation. I've admitted the son was wrong. He did that stuff. But Kurt, on the other hand, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that ain't Kurt didn't sound like he was new to that, kind of environment. And so if that's the case, then what I'm saying is there has to be some type of balance. You can't just, you know what I'm saying? Just like what I was saying with the truth, like, people held him accountable. Like, Cross Movement back in the day, that was kind of ran like a ministry, right, which was kind of the gift and the curse, which I think all that stuff helped him to bring him back to where he's in now. Like, even in the word song, you'll see where Paul said, you know what I'm saying? It's okay, kick them out for a moment, but they'll come back even more restored, even more stronger. My thing is,
let that person get out.
Let them get out. My thing, I'm not saying Kirk is there. From what I'm saying is, you got to hold him a little bit accountable and not just, it's true. It's nobody's business. But when it became public, it became everybody's business, which is on the part of the son, which, like you said,
more like that old Genuine song. Ain't none of your friends bed. I can't sing. It's all good.
It ain't none of our business, but it kind of is now because it's made public. But at the end of the day,
because his bust ass son.
Yeah, for sure. Because of that, which was wrong on that part. But then Kurt, like I said, Pinky, Plies, you know what I'm saying? However we want to address him now, you know what I'm saying?
It's Kurt, no!
This is Kurt. It's Kurt. But just because Kurt, the saving grace, it's okay, my grandmama cursed me out, do that stuff, don't make it right. Like I said, for me, I ain't perfect. Like, I done cursed out some people that's close to me in my life. You know what I'm saying? Back in the day, 10 years ago, this could be within the last 2 years. You know what I'm saying? So I know, but I'm not, you know what I'm saying, encouraged, inspired in that state. You know what I'm saying? It's like, okay, JB, you got out of character. You were wrong. You know what I'm saying? This was that. Now let's kind of deal with it. Not just, hey, dog, I did that too. So you good. You know what I'm saying? It's like, and that's what I feel a lot of people are giving Kirk. It's like, it's too much love in my estimation.
Yeah. Well, Kirk, if you can hear me, if you ever watch this, I just want you to know that I am here You don't have to worry. I can see your tears. I'll be there in a hurry when you call. Because a real friend is there to catch you when you fall. Here's my shoulder. You can lean on me, bro.
You can lean on me. That was perfect right there. That was perfect. But anyway, we laughing and stuff, but this is obviously a serious situation with the son. He said it's been toxic for years. Whatever the situation is, hopefully they get that together.
If you have babies, don't cuss them out like that. If you have teenagers, not necessarily the best course. Yeah. But once they turn 18, I'm just saying. It can I ain't happen. Mad at you if you do it. Sometimes they need to hear that.
I just want to know what he said, because I'm just like, for me, this is just my mind thinking. I'm like, if they're a teenager, I would get. I'm like 33. Like, he had to really disrespect them.
No, I mean, I don't think it takes that much though. I think that you're looking at this as a grown man,
right?
Like
that's what I'm saying. What I get that riled up,
like, and you know this situation, and we good now. But I had an issue with a family member, but. Well, I might like with my brother,
right?
And we good now, but like, and I told him that I told my dad is like, I'm not finna give him a pass just because we came out the same ball sack.
Yeah,
because I wouldn't let anyone else nowhere do that.
Yeah.
So just because we were incubated in the same womb,
yeah,
not from the same egg, just in the same womb,
mm-hmm.
just because we came from the same nutsack, you supposed to get a pass? And you disrespected me on a level that nobody nowhere.
Right. You wouldn't let that happen.
Homeboy, co-worker,
right. Yeah.
Nigga on the street, nobody.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And so, but we came from the same nutsack, so you get no.
All right.
And it's not like we're kids. When we were kids, I let that stuff go. When we were children and teenagers, I didn't hold stuff for longer than a few hours.
Mm-hmm.
Few hours later, we playing again. Now we grown. So now this ain't just on some families. Like, man, you a grown man. I'm a grown man.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So that says you don't you don't respect me as a man.
Right.
Because I've seen you give that same respect to complete strangers. You see what I'm saying? So for you to not respect me, and so because we're brothers, you should at least say, okay, you know what? I'm gonna give you a pat. Like, but. And so my thing was, okay, fine, let me deal with you like I deal with a grown man.
Yeah.
And so we had a period where we didn't converse. We didn't like nothing.
Mm-hmm.
And I was seeing him every day, and it's still I walk past him like, cause until you make this situation right, we got nothing to talk about.
Right. And that's,
you know what I'm saying? Yeah. And so I think from that aspect, but see, I've never disrespected my parents like that.
It's a different level.
And
with
then,
the parents. Yeah.
You know, even with that, we have a rapport to where if I do something or they do something, like they'll come to me.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And it's like little stuff. You know, like my mom asked me the other, did we do something? I'm like, no, I just every time I get ready to do something in life, like I said, do you know how much stuff I do in life I don't talk to you about?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And I said, Mom, no disrespect, but I'm a grown ass man. Like, yeah, I said, y'all do stuff and y'all don't tell me. Like, y'all go out of town. I don't know till y'all out of town. Mm. Y'all ask me to, you know, if I'm in the area, drive by and check the mailbox. Go cut a light on. So, like, when was that? Like, y'all been out of town a day and a half. Like, you could have told me that before. But I get it. Y'all are grown. I don't stay with y'all. I'm grown. Like, I get it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I think that was kind of more the thing. Like, he's looking at him like, man, you're a grown ass man. Mm-hmm. So now I got to deal with you. If you talk to me like, forget that. Don't use that you're my son as a way to disrespect me.
Right.
Or to show me a level of disrespect just because you feel like, oh, well, you my dad, so you got to take it.
Yeah. And that was, his son displayed a elite level of dishonor toward Kirk, for sure. And so that's what started it all. But what I'm saying is Kirk needs to be responsible. Everything, it just shouldn't be a pat on the back, because like I said, from what I heard from Kirk, like that's, you know what I'm saying? Like you know what I'm saying? It is what it
like,
is.
If anything, like his apology should just be, hey, for what my fans or people who have been blessed by my ministry that heard that. Right. I apologize that you had to hear that. You know, that wasn't meant to offend or hurt anybody, but I wouldn't apologize. Like, if you're right,
Yeah.
Don't apologize for being right because you offended somebody.
That's what I'm saying. That was another part too. Like, did they just with anything like that? Did you apologize because you got exposed, or you apologize because you said that at all?
Man, if I was in that situation, I would apologize like for any kids that heard it or anybody who's blessed by my ministry that heard it.
Right.
But if I was justified in saying what I said, I'm not. No.
Right. And that's all I'm saying. It's two sides to it, but I just think a lot of people are dealing with it just from a grace and mercy standpoint, which is good. But it's like, bro, like, you know what I'm saying? It's some other stuff.
Look, if we out and somebody disrespects you and I slap them and it's caught on camera, I'm apologizing to any of my former students that might see that because I hate that y'all had to see me do that. But outside of that, everybody else, screw you.
Yeah.
If somebody do something to my daughter, you know what I'm saying? Whenever I get married, when somebody disrespect my wife, my kids, I don't owe none of you niggas nothing. I'm sorry, but I'm not sorry.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, for somebody, if you saw it and it hurt you, I hate that hurt you. I'm not apologizing for my action because I was just like I got your back 100 times out of 100.
Yeah.
Just like I would protect my wife or my kids 100 times out of 100. Just like I'm a ride for my family or one of my former students 100 times out of 100. If somebody see me and it make me look in a bad light, you just gonna have to charge that to the game.
Yeah, for sure. And that's what it is. And so we, obviously I knew this was gonna be long. We're talking about Kirk, so that's what it was. But I do, with the next, give a shout out to Nas. He won the Grammy for his album. I can't think of the name right now, but it's King something like that. But 27 Summers is my song on there. That's my song. 27 Summers. That's my joint. Yeah, we gotta look it up. We gotta give him a shout out correctly. It's King something. We're gonna look it up. We gotta give him his due on that because he's long overdue on that.
Okay, so I'm kind of torn.
First
of all, if you know my top 5, it's called King's Disease.
King's Disease. Okay, I know what's on that. King's Disease, yeah.
You know, like
first Grammy.
So I think it's long overdue.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Because check this out. He got nominated for If I Rule the World with Lauryn Hill back in 97. You remember that classic song?
Yep.
He was also nominated for The Essence with him and AZ. Was Grammy nominated for the song. Classic song. Mm-hmm. He also got nominated for the music video One Mic.
Mm-hmm.
He got nominated for Hip Hop Is Dead, which I think is a classic album.
Yeah, that was real classic. I like that one.
Nominated for Cherry Wine with him and Amy Winehouse.
Yeah, I remember that.
Great song.
Yeah, I remember that.
The Untitled album was actually called Nigger, but they changed the Untitled or whatever.
Yeah.
Should have. I mean, the Life Is Good album, man. That Life Is Good. Hey, that's my joint too. You know what I'm saying? Like that. Hey, also the song Daughters. Where you talk about his daughter again. So
right.
I feel like, and then keep this in mind. He did not get nominated for like probably one of the most classic albums of all time, New York State of Mind. No, not New York State of Mind is one song. I'm sorry, Illmatic.
He did
not get nominated for Illmatic.
What year did that come out?
But again? Illmatic, like, I want to say 94.
94.
But now you know what? I don't think.
I gotta look what.
No, they didn't have a category. The category didn't come into place until because the first time it was actually a category for it. It was Naughty by Nature, Bone Thugs and Harmony, Tupac, and then the guy was it Stilo? I wish it was a little bit like
Skilo, yeah.
He was nominated.
Okay.
And Naughty by Nature won.
Yeah.
Which either I feel like that time either Tupac or Bone Thugs should have got it. And Tupac was Me Against the World. And then Bone Thugs had East 1999 Eternal.
Yeah.
So between the two of them, I don't think you can go wrong. Now don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
Naughty by Nature, classic group, but I don't think that though, because still nobody talks about that Naughty album
that was
from
tough.
then. We still talking about Me Against the World, which I believe had Dear Mama on it.
Yeah.
And then Bone Thugs, East 90, like that's the album, like Crossroads, First of the Month, Bill Collector, East 99, like that was that's their magnum opus, like, you know what I'm saying? Like Crossroads still go, you know what I'm saying? Like,
that's well overdue, man.
But like I said, I feel like it was overdue, but my guy was nominated, which is why I want to talk about this.
Okay, let's go ahead.
Royce the 5'9" is my guy. He been my guy.
He was in the nomination?
He was nominated for the Allegory.
For Allegory, okay.
The Allegory.
Okay.
I feel like the Allegory was the best album in that category because it speaks to what we've been dealing with for like the last 3 or 4 years. Mm-hmm. It is very relevant to the time that we're in now, with everything going on, with the protests, with Black Lives Matter, not the organization, but our lives matter.
Yeah, that's the phrase. Yeah,
things that he's dealt with in life. The video Overcomer actually is featuring him and I believe it's West Side Gun from Griselda, but it actually like chronicles like Tekashi 6ix9ine, and it shows like this kid like being obsessed with the rap videos and getting jumped into the gang, and then he having the rainbow hair and everything, and then them, going to court and him snitching on everybody. Mm-hmm. It doesn't say Tekashi, but it's like you clearly see, you know what I'm saying, like in that video Overcomer.
And I want to say as well, like I believe he's the one that put me on Royce the 5'9", because I don't think, maybe you ain't keen it, because I didn't know too much about him before this thing. But I also want to ask you, the Book of Ryan, compare like an Allegory, because I've heard them both. Like, I like the Book of Ryan.
Have you heard Layers? Because Layers is the one in between.
I don't think I've heard.
Okay, so it's the Book of Ryan. Now, okay, so keep in mind, like I said, I've been on Royce since
a long time,
like
longer than
me.
For sure.
I remember I was in school, like still, and Eminem it came out. You know what I'm saying? It's like, so you in middle school, high school, like, man, what you listen to that white boy for? Like whatever. But I'm like, man, again, I've always liked lyricists. You know what I'm saying? So like, hey, he say some slick stuff. Yeah. And he had a song on his first album, and I just knew it was a black dude. I'm like, man, whoever that black dude is, cold. And so I'm listening like, oh, his name Royce the 5'9". So then like Chronic 2001 came out. He was a writer on Chronic 2001. So like Eminem would have songs and that they get leaked on the internet, and it'd be him and Royce. And so anytime Royce was on something, like, so I remember when Royce's album came out, so like, oh, I had to get it. Yeah. Detroit Rock City. You know what I'm saying? So like from that moment on, I've just been following him. Like even when him and Eminem had fell out years ago, I was Team Royce, all day. So like with Slaughterhouse, I'm looking at his Bad Meets Evil
right now.
You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of people say his most critically acclaimed album before Book of Ryan, Layers, and Allegory was Death Is Certain, which I believe was like 2004. Yeah. And that's the one, a Memphis boy. Shout out 6th of July, Carlos Brody. You know what I'm saying? Fairly High graduate.
Brody, yeah.
But he produced, and he's one of his biggest collaborators. Like him and Brody would always do stuff. Mm-hmm. So like I've been a big Royce fan, and like I said, King's Disease was like, it's just not like it's Nas. You know what I'm saying? It's more to something like, so you can't go wrong. Like, and if you're a diehard Nas fan, any diehard Nas fan is gonna say he of course, but he's on my Mount Rushmore. Okay. Yeah. And like my Mount Rushmore, I believe when you talk about impact, consistency, I would say with consistency as well as impact is going to definitely Nas and Jay-Z. Because they just been there. You know what I'm saying? Like still. But then just impact and changing the culture and the game is Tupac and Big, like, and them my foe. Now you got other people, like I can't, if I could get a 5, like Rakim would be up there to me. I would say Royce would be in my top 10. I mean, you could argue for Weezy, Drake, Kendrick, Cole.
LL in my top 5.
Like LL is arguable. Big Daddy Kane is arguable. LA, I mean, then you got new cats. Like, I ain't gonna lie. Like, man, I love, the baby. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's my nigga. Like, hey, that man is cold. I'm glad
you said
man,
that. You see the performance? You see the performance at the Grammys?
Yeah. Man, I love this cat named Fugiano. Fugiano is my hey.
I'm not familiar
Hey,
with him.
hey, you gotta look up. We gonna listen to Fugi when this is over with.
Okay.
I love me some Fugi.
Okay.
I love Lil Baby. You know what I'm saying? Moneybag. You know, like a lot of the Memphis cats, you know what I'm saying, that's doing their thing. Of course, like everybody affiliated with, you know what I'm saying, with God, Pooh Shiesty. Like,
Yeah.
I love like all the young Memphis cats is doing their thing. Like, but again, when I'm talking about like my Mount Rushmore though,
Right.
it's just you can't go wrong with that. So I think Nas was long overdue. However, I would say if you would just go album for album, I think the Allegory is more relevant. I think that Royce is, I mean, Nas is way long overdue, but I think Royce is too, because like I said,
was that his first nomination, you know?
Yeah, it was his first. Now keep in mind, Royce has gotten plaques for writing for Diddy, writing for Dre.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like he's got plaques for writing for people who have put out things. So he's been getting royalties. Money. You know, he's been getting paid because, you know, Diddy put an album out. You know, Drake, Chronic 2001, you know, you go diamond, you know, you get writer's credit for 3 songs, you know what I'm saying? Like, so he get producer credits for Eminem's album, you know what I'm saying? Like, so, for Slaughterhouse stuff, he get producer credits.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you know, like I said, I'm just happy my guy got nominated and that when you look at his last, probably, like I said, Book of Ryan, Layers, Allegory. You also got to deal with Prime and Prime 2 with him and DJ Premier. The Bar Exam 4 mixtape that he put out. Like, I would say probably for like the last 10 years, like he been slick killing it. And a lot of people don't remember he was on NBA 2K when they had that song Fast Lane on there with him and Eminem. And they only play Eminem part on there. I'm living life in the fast lane. Like that joint. But if you listen to the song though,
he on that joint.
Like Royce.
Yeah.
I mean, and to me, like that's the only person who you listen to Eminem, like anybody who Eminem is on the track with, like clearly Eminem owns the track.
Yeah.
But listen to the Bad Meets Evil album with Royce and Eminem on it, and it's arguable. Anytime Royce and Eminem on the track, it's like arguable who's better on the track.
I can see that.
But now Eminem with anybody else,
right?
It's clearly Eminem. Now I hadn't heard Eminem do one with Nas, but and anybody else, like, and fun fact, Renegade on the Blueprint was originally an Eminem and Royce song. And Jay-Z heard the song.
Yeah.
And he was like, I got to be on that song. And then Eminem called Royce and was like, hey, Jay-Z want to be like, you know, what you want to do? Right. He's like, nigga, that's Jay-Z. Right. You better give him that song. Like,
right.
So, but I'm glad. Congrats to Nas. You know what I'm saying? Definitely on my Mount Rushmore, one of the GOATs, long overdue. But I feel like Nas should have been had one. You know, and so this is like how they gave Spike Lee the makeup Oscar. Right. Like I believe that was his makeup. And shout out to Beyonce, set another record. You know what I'm saying? She got more Grammy wins than any woman in history. So shout out to the Beehive. You know what I'm saying? Like Taylor Swift ain't my girl or nothing, but shout out to her because she's won Album of the Year like 3 times. So, you know, shout out to her. The Baby did a fire performance.
He did.
Shout out to Meg Thee Stallion. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
The Baby underrated, man. I'm glad you said something.
Nah, he is, man. I love the Baby. The Baby's amazing.
The Baby is real, and he talented, and he can rap. He like,
he is.
He the real deal. He the real.
And he a real dude, man.
Yes, we know that for sure.
I would love to have the Baby on the episode of the podcast if that ever happens.
That would be great.
Put it out. I want Nas on here. I want Royce on here, and I want the Baby on here.
Let's do
Putting it out there.
Let's put it out there.
I don't know if your wife would approve, but Meg, anytime.
I think wife would be okay with that.
She'd be okay.
You know,
with
as long as she's in the middle, you know. Yeah, but
and I'm gonna look strictly at the camera the whole time, but she can definitely get on.
But we have gone over which we already knew, and but yeah, man, you got anything else you want to say? Anything else you want to?
Quickly, I know we talked about the Meyers Leonard thing. Yeah. I would just say I don't feel like Max Kellerman said it best. And Max Kellerman, said he's a Jew. He actually on First Take, he spoke some Yiddish and everything like that.
Yeah, I saw that.
It's not my place to jump in that because I don't know the impact that it has. or the mean, but I don't use the word.
Right.
And so while I feel like that's important to know that, like, and I'm not trying to offend anybody, but I don't really care to know that because that's not a word I use. Right. I don't feel like I have permission to use that.
Right.
So now if two Jewish people wanted to use that word against each other, then by all means, right. I don't have nothing to do with that. I would never use the word because, and the word that was said was kike, and again, context. So please don't shoot me down.
Yeah.
But I don't use that word to demean or defame anybody because that's not something that we use.
Right.
And like I call everybody nigga, so right. It is what it is. But he said, I wouldn't cancel the person. But again, he said he didn't want to cancel Deshaun Jackson when Deshaun Jackson made, his comments. So I feel like if the people who should have been offended by it is like, okay, you weren't saying it in terms of we say hate speech, but he wasn't saying it
right
while he was beating somebody down. He wasn't saying it while he was burning a cross in somebody's yard or throwing a Molotov cocktail through their window. Yeah. I feel like the people who needed to responded. Adam Silver, who's also, Jewish responded. Yeah. And I think that just anytime somebody says something, this is going to get into our topic later on, but it's just outrage. And you know what I'm saying? Like, I think it's a time and a place to be outraged. And I think every time we hear something, we just looking to beat down somebody every time they do something.
Right. So he said it all, like with the Meyers Leonard. That's what it is. I'm not, for me, I wasn't too much familiar with the word or use it even in context or even would know how to use it. You know what I'm saying? Right. So it is what it is, but I guess he's suspended and he's not one of them high max players. So the money that he's
but this is the thing too, he was injured anyway. So he wasn't playing.
Yeah.
So it's like he's suspended, but like how much money are you making when you're not playing anyway?
Miami don't use it.
You know what I'm saying? And so I just think that this the danger in going live. It was probably somebody that he knew, but because he was live streaming or something like that. And again, like, I don't know, like, y'all niggas got to control y'all emotions because I'm never doing something that serious where I'm going to have a Freudian slip where, like, oh, snap, I can't believe I said that. If I said it, I meant to say it.
Yeah.
And so I don't understand. Like y'all got to learn to control y'all tempers and y'all emotions and y'all mind. Like some of y'all need some hugs or something from somebody. Like go hug your dad or your mom or your granddaddy or grandma or somebody because y'all got to get it together.
Please.
In New York, Knicks, Madison Square Garden, please stop disrespecting y'all legends.
Yeah, stop doing that, man.
First Oak, then Spike.
Yeah.
Now Pat.
Yeah.
Come on, man. Like, y'all got to do better, man.
Do better than that, New York. That's all we got to say.
And he said, y'all should know who the hell I am.
He said,
his jersey in the rafters.
Yeah.
How many 7 feet people you know? Come on, man.
No, not me.
There's no excuse for that.
Not me at all. So, all right, y'all.